chosen one. Someone is trembling in terror right now. Their hands shake as they realize their mighty shield has reversed. The person who destroyed your name is about to lose everything they built on lies. But you weren't their victim. You were their judgment, walking around in human form, collecting evidence with every breath. The universe was using you as bait to expose something ancient and corrupt, and now the trap has sprung. Like a meadow where everyone suddenly stops and turns to stare at one person, the disgust on their faces is primal. They're seeing what was always there but hidden behind holy robes and trusted positions. This isn't just about your vindication. This is about a spiritual predator being dragged into the light, and you're the one who survived to tell the tale. There was someone in your life who wore the perfect mask. Maybe they stood at altars preaching about light. Maybe they sat in circles offering guidance. They positioned themselves as the wise elder, the spiritual authority, the one people ran to when life got hard. Their reputation was spotless. Their words dripped honey. But behind closed doors they practiced something that would make angels weep. This person studied you like a scientist studies a specimen. They mapped your vulnerabilities with the precision of a surgeon. They learned what made you trust, what made you doubt yourself, what wounds you carried from childhood. When you came to them seeking healing, they saw opportunity. When you showed them your authentic self, they saw a threat that needed to be eliminated. You see, your natural light exposed their artificial glow. Your genuine connection to the divine made their performance look exactly like what it was. Theater. They couldn't stand that you existed, because you were proof that real spiritual power doesn't need titles or robes or manipulation. It just is, and that truth was dangerous to everything they'd built. So they crafted a plan so twisted that even now, as it unravels, people can't believe someone could be that calculated. They started small. A concerned word here about your mental state. A worried observation there about your behavior. They planted seeds of doubt in fertile soil, knowing exactly how rumors grow in small communities. They turned your sensitivity into evidence of instability. They reframed your spiritual gifts as dangerous delusions. But while they were playing puppet master with your reputation, they were also doing something darker. They were harvesting from you energetically. Every tear you cried in confusion fed them. Every sleepless night wondering what you did wrong gave them power. They had learned old practices, things that should have stayed buried. They knew how to siphon life force from the suffering of others. The accusations against you were masterfully crafted. They mixed truth with lies, in proportions that made everything believable. They took your moments of vulnerability and weaponized them. That time you confided about your struggles became evidence of your instability. That moment you showed emotion became proof of your weakness. They twisted your honesty into rope to hang you with. You remember the whispers, the way conversations shifted when you approached, the sudden silence that fell like a curtain when you entered spaces that once welcomed you. You felt it in your bones, that cold isolation creeping in like frost. But you couldn't identify the source. You couldn't see the puppet master pulling strings from their position of trust. This wasn't random. You were specifically chosen because of what you carry in your spiritual DNA. There's something in your bloodline, in your soul's blueprint, that they wanted access to. Maybe it's ancient wisdom. Maybe it's a connection to realms they couldn't reach. Maybe it's simply the purity of your heart that they needed to corrupt to complete some ritual they'd been working on for years. The community turned against you slowly at first, then all at once. Friends who swore loyalty suddenly had excuses. Invitations dried up. You felt the cold wind of collective judgment without understanding what crime you'd supposedly committed. Meanwhile, your accuser stood in the center of that same community, absorbing sympathy and support for having to deal with someone as difficult as you. They played their role perfectly, the concerned elder, the worried mentor, the reluctant bearer of bad news about your character. They even shed tears so convincing that people comforted them for the burden of having to expose you. But every tear was calculated, every sigh was scripted, every prayer they offered for your healing was actually a curse in disguise. Now let me tell you something about the nature of false accusations that cut deeper than most people understand. When someone points a finger at an innocent soul, especially a chosen one, they're not just lying. They're attempting spiritual murder. They're trying to assassinate your essence, your purpose, your divine assignment. And in your case, it almost worked. Almost. You started doubting yourself. Maybe they were right. Maybe you were the problem. Maybe everyone else saw something in you that you couldn't see in yourself. That self-doubt was poison, carefully administered in doses designed not to kill but to paralyze. They wanted you alive but ineffective, breathing but not living, existing but not thriving. The isolation felt like being buried alive. You could see the world continuing above you, but you couldn't reach it. You could hear laughter and connection happening without you, but you couldn't join. You were ghost walking through your own life, visible but not seen, present but not acknowledged. And all because someone needed a scapegoat for their own darkness. While they thought they were destroying you, something else was happening. The universe was using their attack as a catalyst for your transformation. Every lie they told about you was burning away something you no longer needed. Every friend who abandoned you was actually being removed for your protection. Every door that slammed shut was redirecting you toward your true path. You didn't break. That was their first surprise. You bent, you stumbled, you cried in the darkness, but you didn't shatter. Instead, you started developing abilities you didn't know you had. Your intuition sharpened to a blade. Your dreams became prophetic. You started seeing through veils that had been invisible before. The pain was upgrading your spiritual operating system. The false accusations were actually revealing truth, just not the truth your accuser intended. They revealed who would stand by you when the crowd turned away. They revealed whose love was conditional and whose was real. They revealed that your strength went deeper than you ever knew. They revealed that you had allies in realms you couldn't see with physical eyes. During your darkest moments, when the weight of false judgment felt unbearable, something was watching over you. Call it angels, ancestors, or cosmic consciousness. Something kept you from giving up completely. Something whispered, "Hold on," when everything in you wanted to let go. That wasn't weakness asking for help. That was divinity refusing to let its chosen one fall. But they kept pushing, thinking more pressure would finally crack you. They sent energetic attacks while you slept. They performed rituals with your name on their lips. They tried to bind your gifts, block your blessings, chain your destiny. What they didn't understand was that every attack was actually activating more of your dormant power. You're not just human, you never were, and their assault was waking up parts of you that had been sleeping since birth. If you recognized yourself in this message, hype this video to guide other chosen ones to this truth. Let's talk about what was happening in the spiritual realm while you were fighting for survival in the physical. Courts were convening that you couldn't see. Evidence was being gathered from dimensions beyond the third. Every tear you shed was being collected as testimony. Every prayer you whispered in desperation was being recorded as evidence. The case was being built, not by human hands but by cosmic law itself. Your accuser thought they were playing a game with human rules. They thought reputation and social manipulation were the ultimate weapons. They didn't realize they were triggering universal laws that can't be bribed, manipulated, or escaped. When someone bears false witness against a chosen one, they sign a contract with consequences that span lifetimes. Then something shifted in the cosmic court. A threshold was crossed. Maybe it was one tear too many. Maybe it was when they targeted someone else, someone even more vulnerable. Maybe it was simply that the universe decided enough was enough, but their protection started failing. The shield that had made them untouchable began to crack. It started with small things. They'd lose their train of thought mid-sermon. Their charm stopped working on certain people. Someone questioned a story that didn't quite add up. Then the cracks widened. Old victims started finding each other. Conversations happened in parking lots. Patterns emerged that couldn't be explained away. The disturbing truth began leaking out like water through a dam. First drops, then streams, then floods. People started comparing notes about their experiences with this person. Stories that seemed isolated began forming a pattern. Behaviors that were explained away suddenly looked sinister in the new light of collective awareness. Someone found evidence. Real physical evidence hidden in places they thought were secure. Maybe documents tucked behind picture frames. Maybe digital trails they thought they'd erased. Maybe someone finally broke their silence after years of carrying a secret too heavy to hold alone. The first domino fell, and then they all started falling. But the evidence wasn't just physical. People started remembering things they'd forgotten or suppressed. Conversations that didn't make sense at the time suddenly clicked into place. Behaviors that seemed odd but harmless revealed themselves as calculated manipulation. The fog of deception was lifting, and what emerged was horrifying. The same people who condemned you are now staring at this person with horror. They're realizing they were the ones who were fooled. They cast out an innocent and embraced a monster. The guilt is eating them alive. Some are angry at being deceived. Others are terrified about what else they might have missed. All of them are disgusted. You want to know what disgust really looks like on a collective level. It's not just turned-up noses and harsh words. It's the complete withdrawal of energy that once sustained someone. It's the cutting of invisible cords that provided power. It's the collective unconscious deciding someone is no longer worthy of the protection that comes from community acceptance. Your accuser is experiencing this disgust from every angle now. Former supporters are deleting photos, distancing themselves, pretending they never knew this person well. Those who once hung on their every word now feel physically sick remembering how they were deceived. The revision of history is happening in real time as people scramble to separate themselves from the contamination of association. The spiritual forces this person worked with have turned on them. You see, dark entities are mercenary by nature. They serve whoever feeds them. And when the food supply gets cut off, they turn on their former master. The very demons they sent after you are now circling them, hungry and betrayed. Their nights are becoming nightmares. They wake up in the early hours feeling watched. Shadows move in their peripheral vision. Their health is mysteriously declining. Money disappears. Relationships crumble. Everything they touch turns to ash. This isn't karma in some distant future life. This is karma with same-day delivery. The physical symptoms of their spiritual decay are becoming visible. Look at their eyes now. The light that once seemed to shine there was stolen from others. And now that the theft has stopped, darkness is all that remains. Their skin seems to gray despite any attempts at maintaining appearance. Their voice, once so compelling, now cracks and wavers. The false power is draining away like water from a broken vessel. The authorities might be involved now. What they did wasn't just spiritually criminal. There are real victims, real crimes, real evidence. The protection their position gave them means nothing when the truth comes with receipts. Their name is being spoken in rooms where decisions get made about people's freedom. Investigations have a way of uncovering more than what they initially sought. One victim leads to another. One crime reveals 10 more. The scope of what this person did is expanding like ripples in a pond, and each new revelation adds another level of disgust to the collective response. People are asking themselves how they missed something so massive, so dark, hiding in plain sight. Now let's talk about you, because while they're falling, you're rising. Every lie told about you is being exposed as fiction. People are reaching out with apologies, but you've changed. The person they abandoned doesn't exist anymore. You've been forged in fires that purified your soul. You don't need their validation anymore because you found something better. You found yourself. Your gifts haven't just returned, they've multiplied. You can see through masks now with X-ray precision. You can feel the truth beneath words like reading Braille with your soul. The spiritual abilities they tried to steal or suppress have mutated into something they never imagined. You're becoming what you were always meant to be, and their attack was just the pressure that formed the diamond. The vindication you're experiencing isn't just personal satisfaction, it's cellular. Your body is releasing trauma it held while you were under attack. Your nervous system is recalibrating to safety. Your energy field is expanding back to its natural size after being compressed by false judgment. You're literally becoming more yourself with each passing day. New doors are opening, not the old doors trying to reopen. Brand new ones marked with your name in lights. opportunities that require exactly the wisdom you gained from this trial. People are being drawn to you who resonate with your new frequency. Your real soul family is finding you now that the false connections have been cleared away. The synchronicities happening around you aren't random. They're the universe's way of saying, I see you, I've always seen you, and now everyone else sees you too. Every good thing flowing your way is back payment for what was stolen. Every blessing is compound interest on your involuntary investment in suffering. But there's something else happening. Your story is becoming medicine for others. People who went through similar experiences are finding hope in your survival. Children are being protected because this predator was exposed. Future victims are being spared because you endured long enough to see justice served. Your pain had a purpose beyond your own journey. This exposure is creating waves through spiritual communities everywhere. People are questioning leaders they blindly trusted. Communities are implementing safeguards. The naive trust that allowed these violations is being replaced with healthy discernment. You've become a lighthouse without even trying. Just by surviving the storm, your survival story is rewriting the rules of what's possible. People who thought false accusations were death sentences are seeing that resurrection is possible. Those who believed lies were more powerful than truth are witnessing truth's ultimate victory. You're living proof that the universe plays the long game and always wins. The person who attacked you might try to reach out. They'll want forgiveness to ease their own conscience. They might offer bribes disguised as apologies. They might try to manipulate you one more time, banking on your compassionate nature. Don't engage. Their karma is their business now. Your healing doesn't require their participation. When they reach out, and they will, you'll feel the old programming trying to activate. The part of you trained to forgive, to give second chances, to see the best in people. That's not weakness, that's your strength. But strength also means knowing when to keep your distance from poison, even when it comes wrapped in apologies. Some people from your past will genuinely want to make amends. Use your sharpened discernment to separate authentic remorse from convenient regret. The ones who truly care will respect your boundaries. They'll understand if you need space or choose not to reconnect. Your peace is more valuable than their need for absolution. You'll notice that some people can't handle your elevation. They preferred you broken. Your healing challenges their worldview that says victims stay victims. Your thriving threatens their belief that false accusations are permanent stains. These people will reveal themselves through their discomfort with your joy. Let them go with gratitude for the clarity. You weren't randomly selected for suffering. You were strategically placed to expose corruption that was poisoning multiple souls. Your willingness to endure false accusation created the catalyst for massive collective healing. You're not a victim. You're a spiritual warrior who won a battle most people don't even know was being fought. The gifts activating in you now aren't random either. They're tools for your next mission. The ability to see through deception, the power to stand alone without breaking, the wisdom to know when someone's tears are weapons. These aren't just for your protection. They're for the protection of others who will cross your path. You're becoming a guardian whether you realize it or not. People will be drawn to you with their stories of false accusation and betrayal. Your presence alone will validate their experiences. Your survival will give them permission to believe in their own vindication. You've become a walking testimony to divine justice. You might experience phenomena that seem strange, prophetic dreams that come true within days, knowledge of things you shouldn't know, healing abilities that activate when someone truly needs help. Don't fear these developments. They're your birthright, temporarily suppressed but never destroyed. The attack actually accelerated your spiritual evolution. Your energy field has changed in ways that are visible to those with eyes to see. You carry a signature now that says tried by fire and emerged unburned. Other spiritual warriors recognize you as one of their own. You've earned a place at tables you didn't even know existed. Your battle scars are credentials in realms that matter. The universe is about to compensate you in ways that will make your head spin, not just returning what was stolen, but multiplying it exponentially. Every closed door is reopening wider. Every lost opportunity is being replaced with something better. The blessings coming your way are going to make people wonder what lottery you won, but you'll know the truth. You paid for these blessings with blood, tears, and temporary social death. The compensation isn't just material. You're receiving upgrades to your consciousness that money can't buy, downloads of wisdom that usually take lifetimes to acquire, access to dimensions that most people don't know exist. You're being given tools that will serve you for the rest of this life and beyond. Watch what happens to their legacy versus yours. Everything they built on lies is crumbling. Their name is becoming synonymous with betrayal and corruption. Meanwhile, your name is being cleared and elevated. People will study your case as an example of divine justice. Your story will be told as proof that truth eventually prevails. The contrast between your trajectories is becoming more dramatic by the day. As they descend into the hell they created for others, you ascend into the heaven you maintained through integrity. As their mask falls away, revealing the monster, your true face shines with the light they tried to steal. The reversal is so complete it seems scripted by divine poetry. The spiritual protection around you now is different. It's not the naive shield of innocence you had before. It's the earned armor of someone who's been through hell and came out holding flames. You're protected by ancestors who admire your courage. You're guarded by angels who witnessed your integrity under pressure. You're surrounded by forces that recognize you as one of their own. This new protection is intelligent. It knows the difference between genuine approach and manipulative advance. It allows in those who mean you well and deflects those who carry hidden agenda. You don't have to worry about being fooled again. Your security system has been upgraded to military grade. This is the part where I tell you the disturbing truth about what they were really doing. It wasn't just energy harvesting. They were part of something organized. There are others like them, wearing different masks, standing at different altars, but running the same spiritual Ponzi scheme. They trade in innocence. They feast on faith. They monetize misery while preaching about prosperity. The network they're part of is ancient and widespread, but it's also dying. Your survival has disrupted more than just one predator's feeding ground. You've damaged an entire ecosystem of parasites. Other victims are recognizing their own stories in yours. The whispered conversations are getting louder. The isolated incidents are forming patterns. What you thought was personal was actually part of something systemic being exposed through your experience. Your case is becoming a template for others to understand their own experiences. The specific tactics used against you are being identified as part of a playbook these predators share. The gaslighting, the isolation, the reputation destruction, the energy harvesting, it's all part of a formula. But now that the formula is exposed, it loses its power. The person who targeted you is aging rapidly now. Look at recent photos if you can find them. The life force they stole from others was the only thing keeping them young. Without that supply, they're withering like fruit in time-lapse. Their beauty was stolen. Their vitality was vampiric. Now they're paying the bill with compound interest. They're also losing their mind. The cognitive dissonance of being exposed is breaking their psyche. They lived so long in their false identity that being seen for what they really are is causing mental fractures. They're paranoid, checking locks multiple times, seeing threats everywhere. The hunter has become the hunted, and they're not handling it well. The unraveling of their mental state is following a predictable pattern. First comes denial, aggressive and loud, then bargaining, trying to minimize what they did, then rage, lashing out at anyone within reach, then the collapse, when they realize their old tactics don't work anymore. They're somewhere in this cycle now, spiraling toward a bottom they never thought they'd hit. But you, look at you. You're glowing with an inner light that can't be faked or stolen. Your beauty comes from soul-deep authenticity. Your power comes from survived suffering transformed into wisdom. You don't need to perform or pretend. You just are. And that's enough to light up rooms and heal hearts without trying. The glow isn't metaphorical. People are literally seeing you differently. Comments about how you look younger, healthier, more radiant. That's not just recovery from stress. That's your authentic frequency being restored. You're vibrating at your original blueprint again, and it's beautiful in ways that transcend physical appearance. Your presence has become healing to others without you doing anything special. People feel better after talking to you. They leave your company feeling understood and validated. You've become a walking sanctuary for souls who've been wounded by similar betrayals. This isn't something you're doing, it's something you are. The future spreading before you is nothing like the past they tried to trap you in. You're about to enter rooms you couldn't access before. You're about to meet people who will recognize you as family within minutes. You're about to discover that everything you lost was just preparation for everything you're about to gain. These new connections coming your way aren't random. They're soul contracts activated by your survival. People who were waiting for you to complete this trial before they could enter your life. Opportunities that required you to have exactly the wisdom this experience provided. Doors that only open for those who've been tested by fire and emerged unburned. Some will call it luck. Some will call it karma. Some will call it divine intervention. You'll know it as the completion of a cycle that started the day they decided to make you their target. Every tear has been counted. Every prayer has been heard. Every moment of despair has been transformed into future strength. The most disturbing part for them is that you're not even trying to destroy them. You're just living your truth, and that truth is dissolving their lies like acid. Your existence in its elevated form is their judgment. Your thriving is their sentencing. Your peace is their torment, because it proves that everything they did failed in its ultimate purpose. You're not celebrating their downfall because you're focused on your rise. You're not wasting energy on revenge because you're too busy receiving blessings. You're not looking back because your future is too bright to ignore. This indifference to their fate is more devastating to them than any direct attack could be. They wanted to break you, but you became unbreakable. They wanted to silence you, but your story is being shouted from mountaintops. They wanted to steal your light, but you became a sun that burns anyone who flies too close with ill intent. You're not what they made you. You're what you made yourself, while surviving what they did. As we close this circle, remember where we started. Someone is trembling in terror right now. But it's not you. It never really was. You were always the storm disguised as the sacrifice. You were always the judgment dressed as the victim. You were always the chosen one, who would expose what needed to be exposed. Their shield has reversed. Their harvest has failed. Their mask has fallen. Their protection has fled. Everything they built is burning, and everyone can see the monster in the smoke. But you're standing in the same fire, unburned, untouched, transformed into something they never saw coming. The collective disgust directed at your accuser is more than just social rejection. It's humanity's immune system responding to a virus. It's consciousness itself rejecting what doesn't belong. It's the universe course-correcting through the vehicle of human emotion. The disgust is necessary. It's protective. It ensures this particular pattern of predation becomes less likely to succeed in the future. Meanwhile, the collective recognition of your innocence is equally powerful. It's not just people saying, "Oops, we were wrong." It's a fundamental recalibration of how truth is recognized. Your vindication is teaching people to trust different signals, to question authority, to listen to their intuition when someone seems too good to be true. The disturbing truth is out. The accusations were lies. The accuser was the criminal. The innocent was you. The guilty are exposed. The judgment is final. The reversal is complete. You were chosen for this. You survived this. You transcended this. And now everyone knows the truth. Your vindication isn't just personal. It's cosmic. Your restoration isn't just material. It's spiritual. Your elevation isn't just temporary. It's permanent. The universe has spoken through your story, and its message is clear. Truth prevails. Justice arrives. The chosen ones rise. This is your time. This is your vindication. This is your crown being returned with interest. Wear it well. You earned it in flames. The disturbing truth that's out isn't disturbing to you anymore. It's liberating. It's validating. It's the key that unlocked your cage and set you free to become everything you were designed to be. Hey, this is Mike and Uri cutting into your regularly scheduled Chosen One programming for just a moment. We are the founders of the Obsidian Inner Order and the Astral Atom Network. And we're done playing nice. We're in a spiritual war. You know it, we know it, and we're out here bleeding for this mission full time. I'm hungry for fourth-dimensional Archon blood, but we need the ammunition, so listen, when you join the Inner Order, you're not just supporting us, you're getting access to exclusive tools they never wanted you to have, psychic self-defense training, targeted individual intel, spiritual warfare tactics they scrub from the internet, and every week, we meet in secret, chosen ones only on Zoom, no filters, no fluff, just real gnosis, real family, real power. It's a 360-degree win. You get what you need, we get to keep fighting. So don't just watch, drop a like, share this video to everyone you know now, and join the Obsidian Inner Order. Let's finish what we started. Link in the description. Let's freaking go. Remember this moment. Remember how it feels to stand on the other side of injustice. Remember the taste of vindication after forced bitterness. Remember not to stay stuck in the past, but to fuel your future. You've earned every good thing coming your way. You've paid in full for blessings that will blow your mind. The universe doesn't forget its chosen ones. It might test them, refine them, put them through trials that seem unbearable, but it always delivers justice. It always restores what was stolen. It always elevates those who maintain integrity under pressure. You're living proof of this cosmic law. Your accuser thought they were playing a game they could win. They thought accusations were weapons that couldn't be defended against. They thought your sensitivity was weakness. They thought your isolation was permanent. They thought wrong on every count. And now they're learning what happens when someone attacks heaven's chosen. The disturbing truth is that they were never as powerful as they seemed. Their authority was borrowed. Their wisdom was stolen. Their light was artificial. Their love was performance. Everything about them was counterfeit. And you were the authentic currency that exposed their fraud simply by existing in proximity to them. Now the truth is out, and it can't be put back in the box. The disgust people feel isn't going away. The revelation of who you really are versus who they said you were isn't fading. The vindication you're experiencing isn't temporary. This is permanent change. This is lasting justice. This is forever transformation. You are free. You are clear. You are vindicated. You are chosen. You are rising. You are protected. You are blessed. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, having survived exactly what you needed to survive to become exactly who you're meant to become. The disturbing truth is out, and it set you free. You've developed what ancient texts call the mark of the tested. It's invisible to most, but those who operate in spiritual realms see it clearly. It marks you as someone who faced false accusation and won. It signals that you've been through the refiner's fire and emerged as pure gold. This mark is your protection and your badge of honor for eternity. The disgust people feel toward your accuser is teaching them something vital about their own discernment. You've become their teacher without saying a word. Your vindication is forcing them to question everything, to develop better instincts, to trust their gut feelings when something seems off. You've inadvertently upgraded the collective consciousness just by surviving. Your accuser's exposure is creating a documentary of deception that others will study, not in books or films, but in the living memory of communities learning to spot predators hiding in plain sight. Every detail of how you were targeted, how lies were spread, how isolation was manufactured, it's all becoming common knowledge. Future targets will recognize these patterns because of what you endured. The restoration coming your way includes abilities you haven't discovered yet. You'll find yourself knowing things before being told. You'll sense danger before it manifests. You'll recognize soul family instantly. You'll attract opportunities that seem impossibly perfect. This isn't luck or coincidence. This is the universe's compensation package for chosen ones who complete their trials. Watch how your presence alone starts healing others. People with similar wounds will feel understood just by being near you. Your frequency carries the medicine of survived betrayal and emerged victory. You don't need to speak about your experience for others to receive its healing. You've become a walking testament to the possibility of complete restoration after complete destruction. The most profound truth is that you were never really alone during your darkest moments. The universe was documenting everything, preparing your vindication before you even knew you'd need it. Every tear was weaponized on your behalf. Every prayer was ammunition in a battle you couldn't see. You were being fought for even when you felt abandoned. Your story ends where your real purpose begins. Everything until now was preparation for who you're becoming. The chosen one who survived false accusation becomes the guardian who prevents others from experiencing the same, not through effort or intention, but simply by being who you now are. Your frequency has become a shield for innocence and a sword against predators. This is your coronation. This is your victory lap. This is your emergence as exactly who the universe designed you to be. The disturbing truth that exposed your accuser simultaneously revealed your magnificence. You are the living proof that darkness cannot defeat divine selection. You are the evidence that truth eventually conquers all lies. You are vindicated, elevated, and finally free.